Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Going All Electric. I want to start off this episode talking about Tesla and how their grand plan was to make an affordable EV. Now as you can see, they keep going up on the price as far as their electric vehicle from the Model 3 all the way up. Now in the beginning, they first came out with the Model S and they were supposed to make a more affordable EV in their product lineup. The Model 3 is supposed to be the more affordable EV starting at $35,000. Of course, they haven't actually hit that price point, and the Model 3 keep going up in price. Now, I understand there's a chip shortage and a supply and demand thing, but in order for them to create this $35,000 vehicle, we got to see it. Now, I don't know if they can make one with less range, less performance, and that's another thing as far as performance. They seem to be pushing the one that has the performance capability. So the long range will take a longer time for you to receive it versus the performance. The performance you can probably get in a couple months, while the long range on some cases can take up to 6 months or more. And there's no standard range in their lineup. So for people who don't want that extra long range miles and can settle with a 250-mile range, there's no such thing in their lineup, which is something I think they should work on. Because if Tesla want to really compete in the long run, they're going to have to come up with a more affordable vehicle, because you got Kia and Hyundai and a whole bunch of other manufacturers working on a less expensive EV that's for the consumers to pick up because that's what they can afford. I mean, a $50,000 and $60,000 car is not in everybody's budget. And I understand Tesla is more of a premium brand, but I think they should work on trying to come up with a more affordable EV to take a hold of that market. And diversity is another thing that Tesla need to work on. I understand in the beginning they wanted to spell the word sexy. Of course, Ford made the Model E not possible, so they had to come up with the Model 3 instead and kind of foil their plan as far as trying to make the word sexy out of their vehicles. But now it's time to start diversifying. So it's time to see a pickup truck, maybe a real 7-seater SUV, something in the shape of a Telluride or an Escalade or something like that, but not really shaped like all their vehicles right now. So maybe a little design change just to mix things up a little bit. Or even a little hatchback that's a little bit smaller than the Model 3 that's more affordable. I know the Cybertruck is in their lineup, but design-wise, it's not looking like some buyers would get that vehicle because it doesn't look like the F-150 Lightning, something that most truck buyers are used to as far as the shape and design. But I want Tesla to succeed. I don't want them to fall by the wayside. And I know they're going to be a big company and they're not really going anywhere because battery technology and the factories that they're creating. Plus, I'm an investor in the company myself. I believe in the company. I just want to see a little diversity and a more affordable EV as the future goes along. Next thing I want to talk about is this all new electric minivan that's made by Fiat. It's packed with technology, as the article says. Now, Stellantis is on a fast track strategy to electrify their vehicles, and they have a roadmap trying to get all these vehicles out there. Their first ever electric vehicle will be that fully electric Jeep that I covered in the previous episode. And also they have an electric Ram 1500 that's due out in 2024. Now, we don't have a lot of information on this minivan by Fiat, but from what we know, it's trying to be a mobile living room that can be configured in 12 different ways, with a maximum seat of 8. In a 5-seater layout, the reclining seats are fitted with individual armrests and foldable tables that can be placed in the middle to create a social settings. The 7 and 8-seater models will be configured on a rail system, and it also will have a tri-zone climate control with a new air sanitizing device, so each row will be able to control whatever temperature they want to enjoy. And of course, with a lot of these new EVs with the glass roof, this one will have a panoramic sunroof. Technology-wise, it will be able to recognize street signs and will have a 7-inch infotainment system. This new EV will come in the choice of 2 battery packs. The smaller one is going to be 50 kilowatts, while the bigger one is going to be 75 kilowatts. And with a range that will be claimed to be about 205 miles. Each battery option will drive the energy to the front motor and produce about 136 horsepower. The 100 kilowatts fast charging is fitted as a standard and can replenish 80% of the battery in 45 minutes, which is still kind of slow compared to some of the other EVs out there that can replenish it a whole lot faster. So this range for this new Minivan EV is kind of low, and the charge speed is kind of slow compared to other cars in the industry out there like the Kia and Hyundai and Tesla. So on the 9th of March, Volkswagen held a general premiere of the first generation ID.Buzz. Now this EV Buzz is supposed to come in two variations. One is going to be more like a cargo commercial van, while the other one is going to be more for the consumer to lug people around. It's going to be like a minivan kind of a thing. This ID.Buzz is going to be powered by a 77 kilowatt hour battery with a maximum charge of 170 kilowatts. The company indicates that the Buzz will consist of over-the-air updates, and VW claims it's going to have level 4 self-driving feature when the vehicle is announced to be released, which means it will have advanced driver assistant feature, which include assisted lane change, parking assist plus, emergency braking in the event of an unexpected object detection. The European pre-orders will begin in May 2022 with a general launch that's set for fall of the same year. When will pre-orders start for the other parts of the world? We don't know at that current time, but I'm pretty sure it will be announced soon. And finally, Tesla is going to start delivering Model Y SUV that's made in the Gigafactory in Germany. So they finally got approval to start shipping out Model Ys from that factory. And the start date is going to be March 22, 2022. So there's a lot of twos there. So this whole process has been delayed as far as the Gigafactory in Germany. The factory was already completed and they've been making test version of the Model Y, but they were not able to actually start shipping them to consumer because they were waiting for local approvals from the European government. So now that this factory is officially in operation, they have the Gigafactory in Shanghai, which is going to cover the Asian region. And now that they got this Gigafactory in Germany, which is going to really take care of the European region, and we still have the two factories in North America, the factory in Fremont, California, and now they have the Gigafactory in Austin, Texas. So Tesla is going to really ramp it up. In a year or so, they're going to be producing more electric cars than any other manufacturer in the world, because with these big factories out there that's producing the cars and the battery and everything that they need in-house, they're going to be able to ramp it up real fast and crank out more vehicles. But hopefully with them ramping up production, they will be able to bring the cost down. That was the first topic that I covered in this episode. They got to bring the cost down if they want to really start taking over mass market. Now, it's good to have competition, but the people who you really want to target is the people that want to go electric, but don't have the funds to spend $55,000 and $60,000 or more on an electric vehicle. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to have a Tesla, even if it's just a Model 3. But the price is so high that it's just not in their budget. And I really think that Tesla have a slot that they can fill. It's right there. They just have to fill it. They have the best charging network across the globe. So the only thing they need to do right now is to fill that gap. And hopefully with all these new factories going online, and probably have a couple more factories planned to build, that they can drive the cost down and make the EV, even if it's just the Model 3 standard range, more affordable. So I want to say congratulations to Tesla for getting the approval for this new Gigafactory in Germany. And I know the factory is already probably in full operation. Okay, so that's it for this week of Going Electric. Until next time, have a good one.